Now I want to back up. So let's go back to that homeless period of time in your life. Was that before or after Steubenville? What age were you when that happened?
I was around 10 when that happened.
Okay.
We ended up so my parents were divorced and everything like that, and my dad was supposed to be paying child support and everything. He had a very good job working in the steel mill back home and everything, and it just happened all of a sudden. He was ordered to pay a portion of the mortgage and stuff like that they had, the house that bought, and he just didn't pay it. So I'm at school one day. I'm at Lincoln Elementary, and I'll show how that ties why I mentioned that name. Lincoln Elementary School, and my mom friend comes and pulls me out of school, and I go home and there's nothing there. Everything's gone out the house. And for a kid who's in 5th grade, you're just kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah.
She explained the situation. We went and stayed with my aunt for a while, and then she decided to ship me off to my uncle up in New York. I lived with him for 3 years. While I was up there, again, I really wasn't a sports kid. I really wasn't into anything. I lied. I actually kind of got into hockey a little bit, with the Rangers and stuff like that. When you move to New York, you have to become a sports fan, and it's the Rangers, the Yankees, and the Giants.
Right.
And for me, it was. And
you didn't get into lacrosse while you were out there, huh?
No lacrosse for me. It was hockey, and just the physicality of hockey just drew me to it. And that should have been kind of just kind of a thing to tell me you should get into wrestling.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed street hockey and rollerblading and stuff like that. I didn't get on the ice much, but just street hockey and playing with the kids and being aggressive, hip checking. If I didn't get into wrestling, I would have been a hockey player. I probably would have been a goon because
right.
I just loved it, and I was into it. And actually, my science teacher in New York, he kind of saw it in me, and he was trying to get me to come out to wrestle. And I was like, no, my brother wrestles. Because at the time when I was up there, my brother was, I think, getting ready to graduate out of Ohio State.
Okay.
And Russ Hellickson had his camps, and they had put my brother on a poster. And they couldn't make enough posters because people were, seeing my brother and they knew who he was. And, he sent some to me and I was giving them out to the kids and they were just like, oh my God, like, who's this guy who's wrestling? I was like, that's my brother. He's a multi-time state champ, blah, blah. And I mean, kids were just asking for them. They left and right. And, he was trying to get me out. And I was just like, that's my brother. That's not me. Again, it's that mentality of, when you try to say, oh, your brother's doing it, do you want to do it? It's like, nah, it's not for me. It's not for me. Huh. But we ended up, they ended up having a fallout. My uncle gave me kind of an ultimatum of like, do you want to stay here? Or do you want to go with your mom? I went with my mom. We were homeless for about half a year, moving from shelter to shelter on Long Island. Probably, again, the best time of my life because my mom made it an adventure. She told me, she said, you are the definition of ghetto fabulous because you don't, her famous saying was, you don't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. Uh-huh. And nobody would know you don't just because, again, the way you carry yourself.
I love it. That's great.
That was just, she just said, that's, I see that in you. I see that, you don't let anything get to you. And if it does, nobody knows it. So, we hopped from shelter to shelter on Long Island. And then she asked me again, she says, hey, do you want to go back home or do you want to try to make this work up here? I said, let's head back home. And, we went back home, stayed with my brother, Jamar. He's the one next to me. There's 9 years between me and him.
Okay.
So we stayed with him. I went to Harding. I ended up actually moving out from them and actually going to stay with my dad's brother who my uncle Nate, who was a very good football player. My dad and him were good football players for Wintersville.
Okay.
Back when it was Wintersville, not Indian Creek.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So I ended up staying with him while I was going to Harding, played football and stuff like that. So I've had a lot of influences in my life, a lot of people kind of trying to guide me the right way through life. So
I tell you what, it sounds like, that's a period of your life, 10 years old. That's very impressionable. And the upheaval and the lack of, were you going to school at the time?
Yeah.
6 months?
I was going to school. The way that they do it in New York was, we were staying in shelters, but my mom, she was a hustler. Like she would say, I had to steal from Peter, Paul, Mary, and sometimes Jesus and stick my hand in God's pocket when he's not looking. She was a hustler. And so what they would do is they would basically give me a bus, or the short bus, basically. That's the bus I would take.
Okay.
And it would drive me all the way from wherever we were at, all the way to the school that I was still going to.
Okay.
So that way it didn't disturb anything, or I wasn't hopping from school to school to school. So they made that happen to where I was still consistent with going to the same school.
Good.
And I did that for, I think, like 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
Stuff. So, I was consistent, and that really helped a lot, kind of keeping me on the straight and narrow path and not, putting me in newer environments every time we moved somewhere. So that was really nice, that I was able to do that. And like I said, we moved back home, went to Harding and stuff, and, we're rolling in 8th grade. So
it sounds like, again, what I was getting at was a lot of upheaval at that time of any young man's life can create all kinds of issues in adulthood. But you've got this positive mentality, and it sounds like your mom had an incredible influence on you, but you also mentioned other people, like a hodgepodge of people. How does somebody at 10 years old take all of that positive when really look around you, there's not a whole lot of positivity going on? How did you piece all that together?
Everybody let me be a kid. That was the big thing. I look back on it, and it was like nobody told me you have to grow up now, or you have to, you're in a bad situation. It was, protect me at all costs. I'm the baby. I'm the baby of my family with my 4 older brothers, and also I'm the baby out of all my cousins. So, I was the last one, and everybody was like, protect me at all costs. And, and everybody loved my mom. And so it was like, you're in a hardship. Okay, we'll protect Carlin, and we'll make sure he is all right for you. And so, it was the village taking care of the child.
Okay.
And it boils down to, and like I said, it was, I was allowed to still be a kid, but at the same time, growing up in the household I did with my uncle in New York, I kind of had to kind of grow up probably a little bit quicker than I really had to. But it, again, shaped me and formed me into the person that I am today. I was put in situations where I had to kind of, step up and be that person. I'm a shy kid. I was a shy kid. I'm a shy person now. I don't like people, but yet people love me. But yeah, I know how to talk to people and stuff like that. And so, it was kind of a protect me at all costs thing. The village raising me, and, them just, everybody loving my mom and making sure that I was fine, and making sure that I could be a kid for as long as I could be.
That's awesome. That's so cool that, the village has such an influence on you in a positive way, and really things could go south. It sounds like at almost every turn. So.